Greetings and welcome back to Doctor Who Revisited, where I go through every single episode of Doctor Who from 1963 all the way to 2025 and review them. And now we are on to Logopolis, the final episode for Tom Baker as the Doctor. And boy, was it a big one! It is a major one from the get-go, from the very start. We start with the Doctor in a old, decrepit, falling apart room of the TARDIS, which of course we then later learn is essentially the room that is basically the chameleon circuit, which is a very interesting way for the TARDIS to turn a circuit of its inner workings into a literal metaphor, which I really do like that. I mean, TARDISes are very complex beings. I mean, we can't even call them machines because a TARDIS is alive, essentially. And so, and not only that, but the interior as well as the exterior of any TARDIS is interchangeable. I mean, they can literally change their appearance depending on the mood of either the TARDIS itself or the person piloting the TARDIS, which is again, it's one of those fascinating elements of Doctor Who that get explored ish from time to time, but not as much as we would hope. And that's one of the things that really help maintain the mystery behind the Doctor and the TARDIS. And oh boy, there's way more on that to come in this episode. But yeah, it's just a standard opening for Doctor Who. I mean, now that he's back in End Space, he wants to go back and visit his favorite planet, other than Gallifrey, of course, which of course is Earth. And the reason why he wants to go there is because he wants to measure a proper, actual, real police box from Earth so that he could possibly fix the chameleon circuit, which is a concept that the Doctor will revisit eventually in a couple more seasons. But yeah, I mean, 18 seasons on, it makes sense the Doctor would want to fix this one part of the TARDIS that's been broken literally since the beginning of the show. And lo and behold, somehow in the infinite macrocosm of the universe, this random woman who is supposed to start a new job as a flight stewardess in London Airport.
The Doctor's my ticket back to London Airport, so I'm going after him.
She says London Airport in the episode, but I mean, in the next season, it's all about Heathrow Airport. I guess it's a little bit of inconsistency there, but I mean, who cares? The basic facts are that she's a stewardess, or at least she wants to be, on her way to her first day on her job, and somehow gets tangled up in this messy web of time involving the Doctor and the Master. Curious, like these two ageless Time Lords are having a battle, having a showdown, and this unfortunate woman just happens to randomly stumble onto it and just waltz right into a massive universe-ending event. Just on a whim, just because her aunt's car broke down on the way to her first day at work. The world works in mysterious ways, I suppose. But yeah, as far as why the Master specifically chose Auntie Vanessa as one of his victims, well, the obvious answer to that is the Master just enjoys killing, and he enjoys causing pain and suffering to everyone who comes across, and he just happened to come across Auntie Vanessa in this episode. As for why did he chose that area specifically, because the Doctor chose that area specifically, because that's where he found a random police box. And yeah, first of all, I mean, the concept of just having that police box inside the TARDIS was interesting visually, but then when you actually go into the not police box, which may be a TARDIS, I mean, I guess I guess it's implied that it's the Master's TARDIS, and it goes back into that same thing from the Time Monster, where the Master's TARDIS was inside the Doctor's TARDIS, and the Doctor's TARDIS was inside the Master's TARDIS, and one could walk freely from one into the other. But then they walk into a TARDIS within a TARDIS, and then walk further into a TARDIS within a TARDIS within a TARDIS, and then somehow they exit through a back door of the Doctor's TARDIS. One of the many things that don't really get explained all that much in this episode, but as a sequence, I think it was really fascinating. It was really, I mean, even Adric points out that this could be, like, even Adric mentions that this could potentially be part of the law of infinite regression, which, if you haven't, you should probably watch Escape from the Planet of the Apes to know what that's all about. But then the Doctor somehow manages to escape from the cops with a little help from Adric, which kind of begs the question of, like, I mean, this guy is not only from another planet, he's from another universe. How would he know how a bike works? I guess I'm just nitpicking here, but I mean, that is, I suppose, a legitimate question to that. And while the Doctor and Adric are entangled in their ridiculous little adventure, Tegan is on a whole other adventure, running through the many corridors of the TARDIS and getting lost in some of the rooms, which does go back into one of the main core elements of exploring the TARDIS. I said this about a bunch of episodes previously, but I'll say this again. I love it whenever they explore the interior of the TARDIS even more. I wish they did that more often. We get a little bit more of that in the next episode, which is, of course, the season opener of the next season, but I love it when you explore the interior of the TARDIS. I eat it up. I wish we had it more. And clearly, the TARDIS leads people into where the TARDIS wants them to go, not where they want to go necessarily. Tegan keeps trying to escape the chameleon circuit room, and she keeps walking back into it, and the frustration on her face is incredible. I think Janet Fielding did a wonderful job acting that scene. I mean, because you feel it. Like, we've all been there. We've all been lost or in a place where we couldn't get out of it at times. And we've all had this feeling sometimes. I certainly have. I'm sure many of the people watching this also have. Right then and there, you can see why they chose wisely when they cast Janet Fielding in the role of Tegan for this episode. And just the frustration when she first sees the Doctor and Adric, and she yells at him, and it's like, it's a match made in heaven with the Doctor and his new companion Tegan, when he wasn't even planning on having her as a new companion. It's like, it's one of those, like, obviously each companion is unique in their own way. Each one has their own story of how they met the Doctor and how they first travel in the TARDIS. No one single story is the same. Tegan's got one of the wildest origin stories ever. It's like she just wanted to phone a policeman to help with her aunt's car on her way to work, and she just wandered into a TARDIS by accident and got lost in there somehow. And while she was trying to find her way out, the Doctor traveled to a different part of London, and then just, to another planet while she was still on it. Now, I do think that there's a little bit of inconsistency with Tegan's character in the fact that after they land on Logopolis, she kind of forgets how frustrated she was a minute ago, and how she kind of forgets how important it was to her for a minute to get to the airport to start a new job. But I mean, it all comes back around by the end of the episode. So I guess, it kind of makes sense. And she really does prove herself as a very, very valuable part of the Doctor's team. And even like she's, out of the three, she's the only one who chose to stand with the Doctor in the end, knowing that, A, he's her only way back to Earth, back to the airport, and B, the Master's not to be trusted, and the Doctor's definitely going to need her help if he's going to get out of there alive. So yeah, I really do appreciate that part about Tegan's character. As for Adric, I think it's one of those episodes that again really showcase the usefulness of Adric, especially as a genius level mathematician, where they're literally going to a planet of mathematicians where people literally create matter from nothing and hold the entire universe together just with their computations and with their maths. So yeah, this was a perfect area to showcase Adric's good side, and unfortunately, this is really the start of the degradation of the character of Adric. As soon as Tegan shows up, it almost feels like Adric was really enjoying being the Doctor's only sidekick, and now when Tegan shows up, he starts immediately to be a bit antagonistic towards her. He still likes Nyssa a lot, but as the next few episodes are going to go, he's really going to prove himself as sort of the weak link in the chain that is the Doctor's companion line. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. He could have been a really good character, but I mean, he had some problems already in the previous episodes with Tom Baker and with Romana, and it's just gonna get a lot worse. But another thing we got to talk about is, of course, Nyssa. And I know we're not supposed to be picking favorites, but Nyssa is by far my favorite of the trio of these companions of Adric, Nyssa, and Tegan. I just love her. I mean, what a story does this character have? I mean, we already talked about it in the previous episode, where she went from being kind of a background character in Keeper of Traken to being a very integral and central part of the story. Elephant in the room, the Master killed her father and took over his body. So now every time she sees the Master, she sees the face of her father worn by the man that killed her father. And if that wasn't bad enough, because of the Master's meddling, her entire planet gets destroyed. Never mind that, her entire constellation is wiped out. And like that scene of her just watching it on the TARDIS scanner screen, and the emotion on Sarah Sutton's face is unbelievable. She nailed that scene. She acted the hell out of that scene. And yeah, it's one of those things where you like, yeah, you can see why they cast this girl in this role, because she's incredible in it, and she's going to continue to impress us all in the next couple of seasons on the show. Now, having said that, we haven't even talked about the Master yet. Anthony Ainley, even though he is the longest running Master, I mean, he basically lasted about 9 years on and off. I mean, about a decade from 1980 to 1989. On and off, he hasn't been in every single season, obviously, but like, he's definitely cemented himself as one of the greatest Masters of all time. Personally, he's not anywhere near one of my favorites. I mean, as far as the TV show Masters, I think I like most of them better than Anthony Ainley, but you cannot... I mean, I don't dislike Anthony Ainley. I guess I should have pointed that. I do not dislike him as the Master. I just think that even though he has probably the most screen time out of any Master, probably, I guess I should probably check on that, but like, he doesn't have the presence of Roger Delgado. I mean, he's got the evil schemes and whatnot. He's got the evil mind, and he does accomplish a great many things, including in this episode especially. But like, he's sometimes a little too mustache twirling villain. And I guess part of the effect of the Roger Delgado Master is that he was paired up with John Pertwee as the Doctor, and they have such great chemistry together, I should say, having been friends in real life beyond just the show. Anthony Ainley kind of had like four doctors in a way. You had Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, and Sylvester McCoy. So he was never really tied to a specific doctor, like how Roger Delgado was specifically tied to John Pertwee, or how Michelle Gomez was specifically tied to Peter Capaldi, or how Sasha Dewan was specifically tied to Jodie Whittaker. So like he's kind of like an every doctor's master, and that I think kind of dilutes him a little bit, not being specifically tied to one doctor over the other. But I mean, yeah, I think I think Anthony Haley still manages to get everything he can out of the performance with the material he's written, but you know, I don't know how else to put this. He's a mid tier master to me. He's an average master in my opinion, and I mean, looking at what he does in this episode, I mean, the whole point of changing his TARDIS into a police box and putting his TARDIS inside the Doctor's TARDIS and killing Auntie Vanessa and that other police officer guy, all of that was because he needed a lift to Logopolis, because apparently the Master doesn't know where Logopolis is. Like, the Doctor can go there fine, just fine, but the Master can't? Like, I didn't get it. Why didn't the Master just go to Logopolis by himself and did whatever he wanted to do? And I mean, even after he accomplished his mission, I mean, truth be told, I mean, by messing with the computations, he does manage to shrink the Doctor's TARDIS and trap the Doctor inside it for a bit, until, of course, his friends help him fix the problem. And again, another great moment for Adric and a really great moment for Tegan as well. But like, after doing that, I mean, he thinks he's won, and it really was a great part of his plan to have Nyssa wear the bracelet and, you know, essentially control her, because, you know, there's the familiarity between them, because she recognizes his face as the face of her father, so he's able to fool her that way. But then right at the end, right when he thinks he's in control, and you know, the Master is always in control until he isn't, but then he realizes that because of his blundering with the computations, he's now going to end the universe. Oopsie! That's a bit of an oversight on the Master's part, and even he's kind of like, what did I just do? And what I do love about this Master is that even though he screwed up big time, he's still always trying to find some way of weaseling out of the situation, always running away with his TARDIS. He tries to run away a couple of times, and like, he always takes advantage of every single situation to try. Even when he's working with the Doctor, he's always constantly trying to get one over on him and put his plan into action. And even by the end, when he transmits that message all across the universe, and yet the Doctor still beats him by essentially unplugging the Pharaoh's Project cable from transmitting, which kind of begs the question of, like, even after he unplugged it, did that stop the entropy wave from destroying the universe? Was it already stopped before the Doctor did it? It's like, how exactly did they stop it? I mean, like, yeah, they shot it into the CVE that they created, and like, I don't know, maybe I need to rewatch the episode again. But yeah, there's some questions that need to be answered, I think, with this episode specifically. But I do love the fact that the Doctor and the Master were working together, sort of. I really thought it was really funny. The entire fourth episode, the Doctor just keeps trying to stop the Master from killing people, even though it results in them being chased by the security guards. That was really funny. But yeah, it is nice to see the Doctor and the Master working together. It's something we haven't seen since the John Pertwee, Roger Delgado era. And yeah, I mean, as great as it is to watch these two fight each other, it is nice every once in a while to see them working together for a common cause, only for the Master to trick the Doctor by the end. Which it's always one of the more fun parts about the Doctor Master dynamic, which I really do appreciate. Is fun full display here. Some other things, I mean, Logopolis looks pretty interesting conceptually. I mean, I really do think the set looks really nice, and I think that their costumes look really interesting. Minus the attempt of having like the bulbous brain just popping out of the back of their heads. Yeah, I didn't think that was done well enough. I suppose the visual effects at the time have their limits at times, but overall, I mean, I love what they were wearing, and I really did love the Monitor character in this episode. I like this character a lot for this episode, and I think the actor did a wonderful job of portraying the sense of urgency and the stress in a perfect juxtaposition to his calm serenity when thinking that everything goes well earlier in the episode, which is really nice. It still doesn't quite explain why these people who are so powerful that they're literally holding the universe together with their thoughts, why did they need to have the use of technology to do what they need to do? And even more so, why did they need to specifically model their great technological advancement on this one specific random telescope from Earth? I guess someone really had something against that telescope, and they wanted to write it into the story, which is not the first time something like this has happened in Doctor Who. There's like a whole subsection of times when someone didn't like a building that they built somewhere, and they decided to write an episode about it, or rather, they decided to write a scene of an episode in it. I mean, you can go look it up, but yeah, that as confusing as that was, it gets the job done. And what I love especially about this episode is that it really ties into the whole E-Space trilogy and why the Doctor and Romana had just happened to travel through a CVE into E-Space, because the universe is past the point of total collapse. So the Logopolitans created holes in the universe to kind of loosen the pressure a little bit. Is one metaphor I guess that you can use here. And the Doctor and Romana just happened to cross through one of them by mistake. But then again, it's more unanswered questions. So like, if Logopolis was completely destroyed at the end of the episode, was the universe saved? Because yeah, there was the entropy wave killing everything, and the Doctor stopped it, sort of, we assume. But then after that, like they said, the universe was past the point of collapse. So, is it still past that point, or did whatever the Doctor and the Master did in this episode fix it? I don't know. The showrunners clearly didn't much care for that, because they just kept on going. So, yeah, I guess problem solved. Then the rest of the universe can still exist without the need for Logopolis to exist. Whatever. And of course, we got to finish by talking about the Watcher. Like, from the first shot that you see this character there, clearly there's a sense of importance about him. Why is he standing there? Why is he watching the TARDIS? Who is this guy all about? And why does he keep showing up wherever the TARDIS happens to be? And like, there are so many things about this character, this phenomenon, that we just don't know much about. I mean, we know from things released after the fact that he's a decayed version of the Doctor from a potential future where his regeneration was unsuccessful. So we do know that. But like, how did this happen? Why did this happen? What happened in that other future? Again, more unanswered questions, but it's the sort of unanswered questions that, you know what? Not important. We don't need to know. All we need to know is that he warned the doctor, and like, I love how when the doctor first notices him, like, you can tell by his face that he knows something is coming, something is about to happen, and especially even more so after he has a talk with the Watcher on that bridge. Like, he clearly knows that this incarnation is coming to an end, and he's accepted it. He just needs to, for lack of a better word, get this version of him past the finish line, in a way. And like, I love every time that the Watcher shows up. There's always that sense of mystery about him and sense of ominous presence that he just adds to the episode without even speaking. Like, we know he can talk because some of the other characters in the episode talk to him, especially Nissa. I mean, he literally brings Nissa there to Logopolis, but he achieves so much with so little. He doesn't even speak. He doesn't even feature in the end credits of any of the 4 parts of this serial, which is interesting enough on its own. And that, like, that final scene of him merging back with the Doctor, triggering the regeneration, and it's one of my favorite regeneration scenes of all time. It's like the longest running Doctor on the show, literally hanging by a thread from the telescope project, and he starts having these flashes of past enemies intimidating him and threatening him, and it really just, it's an introspective look of the entire Tom Baker era as a whole. And then after he falls, he starts getting these flashes of his former companions, and it's like, yes, there is bad in the universe, there are people out to get him, but then he also has friends who would go through anything to protect him. And I love how this montage of past companions starts with Nissa and Tegan, the future companions, moves on to the past companions in order, ending up with the current companion, Adric. And then, of course, the infamous famous last words of the 4th Doctor: it's the end, but the moment has been prepared for. Such a powerful line, because, I mean, he knew from the very moment he saw the Watcher, he knew the end is coming, but he knew that it has been prepared for, and it's like, you could not have made this any better if you tried. And what a perfect way to end such an iconic Doctor in his final words, merging with, of course, the mysterious phenomena that is the Watcher. It's a really great regeneration episode. It's a great season finale, a wonderful send-off to a beloved character and a beloved actor. It's a great Doctor and Master story, and it's an all-around great episode. I still prefer The Keeper of Traken for other reasons, but this episode is still no slouch, one of the great episodes of Doctor Who of all time. And with that, we have reached the end of season 18, and after 7 long years, the end of the Tom Baker era and the start of a brand new one, because that's how the Doctor works, that's how the show goes. It's like the end is always the beginning of something new, and that is how I choose to view the show. That is why the show will never end. So yeah, I've talked for a very long time about this episode. I mean, there's just so much to unpack, and I feel like there's so much more that I haven't talked about with this episode. But I mean, hey, talk about I talk about the things that really affect me with these reviews. And yeah, sometimes I go less than 10 minutes, and sometimes I go over half an hour, which is what I did in this episode, in this review. But yeah, that is what I think of the episode Logopolis. Let me know what you think about it, and yeah, let me know what you think about the entire Tom Baker era as a whole. And yeah, I'll see you next time for the Peter Davison era Doctor. Goodbye for now, and until the next time, always remember it's the end, but the moment has been prepared for. Goodbye. Hello again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment. See you next time.